goal of this presentation is to introduce the SIMS project and this idea of a common approach to economic evaluation of multisectoral nutrition programs. The study is in the early phases, so we'll be sharing some preliminary findings at the end. Strengthening economic evaluation for multisectoral strategies for nutrition, SIMS, is a 3-year study funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This is a big partnership between Helen Keller International, IFPRI, Results for Development, and University of Washington. And it's really about standardizing the economic evaluation, but it's also about costing and economic evaluation of large-scale multisectoral nutrition program across 5 countries: Nepal, Kenya, Bangladesh, Malawi, and Burkina Faso. So the objectives of this study is really to answer the 2 key questions. First, what are the most appropriate methods and standards? And what are costs and benefits, as well as the cost effectiveness of multisectoral integrated programs? And the reason for this is, we all believe that there are a lot of benefits associated with multisector nutrition interventions, but there are very less to none evidence on costing and cost efficiency of these programs. So moving forward, transparency and standardization in evidence generation will be very important. So we move towards thinking about economic evaluation of multisectoral nutrition program, this approach, which primarily deals around standardizing and defining the activities for multisector nutrition programs into a generic typology. So now what we have done is we kind of standardized the activities into certain buckets. So we developed a generic typology for multisector nutrition interventions. We map these projects into this generic typology from the logical and the program impact pathway of the programs. We have defined the activities, outputs, and costs, inputs and costs for each project. We have selected the outputs and outcomes for each project. And finally, we have estimated net costs and benefits. Now, all of this is based on a series of existing guiding documents, including Global Health Cost Consortium, costing a reference case for costing global health, Harvard reference case for benefit cost analysis, and a well-established recommendation for economic evaluation. Now, we are reiterating on all of these and focusing on economic evaluation of large-scale multi-sector nutrition programs. So in order to get into the typology, we first need to understand what are the activities, standard activities possible for multi-sector nutrition interventions. And for that, we looked into the compendium of actions developed by the Sun Secretariat, which we all know that has multiple sectors. For example, in health, including micronutrient supplementation, in social protection, including cash transfer programs, in maternal and child care, including IOSCF promotions, and of course, in ag sector, including growing of healthy food, right? So once we had this standard set of activities, then we proceed toward developing this typology. And for that, we started building off an existing framework that supports nutrition-sensitive value chain. And as you can see here, these interventions in this framework has three main focus areas. First, to increase the supply of healthy food. Second, to add nutrition value to the healthy food. And third, to increase the demand of healthy food. We think about it broadly in terms of multi-sector programming, and we really see 4 clear core pathways here. First, in line with the first one, to increase the supply of high-quality food, that's primarily, we think, is the domain of the ag sector. Second, to increase the affordability of healthy food, that's primarily the domain of women, social protection, and livelihood sector. Third, to increase the demand of healthy food, that's the primary focus of health and nutrition sector, including SPCC and IOSCF programs. And fourth, to minimize the infections and to minimize the burden of acute malnutrition so that the benefits related with consuming the healthy food is increased. And within all these 4 sectors, we see the need of a 5th pathway so that we can create the enabling environment for all these 4 core pathways to succeed. And that's the responsibility of intersectoral governance sector. So we take an intervention from any multi-sector nutrition program, and it should fall into either of these 5 buckets. Now, once we have this typology, the next step is to map the multi-sector nutrition programs into this typology. So how do we do that? Here I'm presenting an oversimplified version of Suhara program impact pathway, an oversimplified version, right? So basic idea is there are a whole set of interventions related to social and behavior change, communication, and counseling that supports the nutrition-related behavior of the household, and that supports the increase in demand of nutritious food. There is a set of activities related to gender equity and social inclusion that's supposed to increase the household resource allocation in healthy food, and that will support the increase in affordability of healthy food. There are a ton of activities related to homestead food production that supports agriculture, and that will help to increase the supply of healthy food. And there are tons of interventions on WASH and IMAM programs to minimize the infection and burden of acute malnutrition. And of course, there is a piece of governance sector that helps in MSNP coordination to create an enabling environment. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how we map a very complicated national level multi-sector nutrition program into the SIMS typology. Once we have that, the rest is pretty straightforward. Next, we just proceed to define the set of inputs required to deliver these activities for these programs, and the set of possible costs related to deliver those inputs and deliver these activities. So once we have that mapped out, the final step will be to select from many indicators that's associated with the health and nutrition programs, the indicators that we care about regarding this costing study. So in each of the sectors like ag, health and nutrition, livelihood, water and hygiene, so we select the indicators and the outputs and outcomes that are required for the association, right? So tying it all together, we first map the activities, we develop the inputs and costs related to these activities, and we map it out with the respective outputs and outcomes. So this is how we map the complicated programs into the SIMS common approach. Now moving towards actually costing the program itself, SIMS has delineated a series of steps that will help to guide you towards this study. And for each step, we have developed a set of tools to execute the costing study. These all protocols and tools will be publicly available, and that will guide you through the process of designing the economic evaluation for the project, developing a protocol for data collection, mapping the activities for the project into the SIMS typology, collecting the qualitative data to estimate the economic costs, collecting financial data from the expenditure analysis model, and combining the whole cost model into a single costing model. Right? So as a part of SIMS here in Nepal, we are analyzing cost for Suhara 2 program, which is in the very early stages right now, but I'd like to share you the approach of how we are going with it. We are estimating total incremental cost of Suhara, and that is also broken down by startup cost and recurrent cost, by activity type, by thematic area, and by program platform. We will ultimately be estimating incremental cost by beneficiary at the end, and we'll be subsequently tying up the costing estimate with the final outcome that will be generated by Suhara impact evaluation. We propose to scope in terms of the donor, in terms of the perspective of the provider, also from the Nepal government, and with the societal perspective of the beneficiaries. We propose to estimate the financial cost as well as the economic cost in terms of out-of-pocket expenses and the timing. And we propose to cost the recurring cost in terms of 1-year time horizon. So I will not go through this slide. This is basically the whole step we took, again, for the Suhara program. Suhara is, as you well know, implemented in 42 districts. So for the purpose of this study, we are conveniently sampling 4 districts, Navlparasi, Sindhupalchok, Bazang, and Dading. These districts are included in Suhara impact evaluation and the Suhara annual surveys, except for the case of Dading, which is a new district and which was not earlier included in Suhara 1, and that we think will be the interesting case to study. And within each district, we are purposefully sampling 1 rural and 1 urban municipality, and within each municipality, we are sampling 1 ward. That's also included in the Suhara Annual 2 survey clusters. So the whole purpose of this sampling exercise is to standardize the routine data collection and costing process. The qualitative study that we are proposing is very comprehensive. From national to the ward level, we are interviewing the national staffs, the consortium staffs, the financial staffs, and at the district level, we are interviewing Suhara coordinators and technical officers, including the financial officers, the field supervisors, the frontline workers, and even the municipality members, health coordinators, nutrition coordinators, and food security members, and even at a ward level to the beneficiary level of 1,000-day mothers and FCSVs. So the data analysis, the financial data analysis will be done using Excel models. The economic data analysis will be done by triangulation between the interviews, the monthly plans, and the observations. And ultimately, the costing exercise will be tallied with the ultimate Suhara impact evaluation that is due in early 2020. So we're expected to generate the final results by 2021. Finally, currently, we have completed data collection from 1 district. We have completed 18 interviews, KIs, and 6 FCDs. We are currently analyzing financial data at the moment. And as of now, looking at only 1 district and 1 partner organization, the economic cost is representing 50% of the overall cost. But again, this is a very, very preliminary result, and we haven't included the national cost into this estimate, so this result will change. In terms of financial costs, the cost on salary is coming up above 70%, and in terms of cost by credit, the beneficiary inputs are largely what's coming up on the pie, right? So this is all about a common approach to standardize the economic evaluation of a large-scale multi-sector nutrition programs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.